What's up? What?
That is a unicorn.
Yep, that is.
And today we are
Reviewing
the stupid
Father of All Mother. So, let's get into it.
So, the album as a whole, before you listen to
Okay.
it, what were you judging by this?
Okay, before I listened to it, I thought it was just gonna be some trash, like, joke album, basically. This looks like prime, like, Weird Al material right here, so I wasn't expecting much of it going into it. So, like, first impressions is very not Green Day. What about you?
I felt about the same, like, it just didn't seem like them. How did you feel when I showed you the physical version?
Yeah, that's a lot of pink. That's a lot of pink.
That's really bright. It's like, you look behind,
There's
you
like
guys
a
can't
little
see
bit of a
this.
reflection
It's just
on like
crazy.
white surfaces and stuff. It's super weird.
Yeah.
Well, let's start by getting into the songs, I guess.
Father of All.
Now, this song was definitely one of the higher points, and it was a good way to kick off the album. It was a little bit generic in my book, but I still enjoyed it. It sounded more poppy than what I'd expect from Green Day, but like, not a bad song by any means.
Honestly, first impressions of the song, I didn't like it at all. I hated it. So much so, the New Year's Rockin' Eve performance, ask him, he was there. I was like, ew! Disgusting. But it has grown on me a lot. It is very generic and it's very down the middle, but it's not bad.
And as you'll see, this is definitely one of the better songs for this album, so I would definitely, in terms of this album, I give it a straight up 5 out of 10, very down the middle. But in terms of Green Day as a whole, I give it closer to a 3 or a 2.5.
As a song on its own, it's definitely a 5 out of 10, but as a Green Day song, I'd say it's a good 3.5 out of 10.
Okay. Next song.
So after the song, you kick right into Fire Ready Aim.
That's a song for sure.
It's fast, it's wild, but it seems a little bit dull,
Mm-hmm.
especially when compared to later tracks.
Absolutely. It almost seems like a downgrade, in my opinion, in this album from Father of All, so I just mispronounced that name.
It worked as a single, but in the album context,
Yeah.
it's definitely like a 7 out of 10 on its own, and as a Green Day song, I'd say the same. It feels like Green Day.
It definitely does. I'd just rank it a little lower at 6 out of 10, and then like 6.5 out of 10 for a Green Day song.
And then after that song, we cut to Oh Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh Yeah.
I didn't like this song.
Really?
I've been thinking about it. I haven't really been listening to this too awful much, so I haven't had a chance for any of the songs to truly stick. But like, the only reason I say I don't like it is because it's not memorable in any way. It's not sticking in my mind, and that's why I honestly can't say I truly like it. It's just kind of a song that's in the album. Most of the time, I'd end up skipping it if I had Spotify, but if I were just playing it in a CD, I'd probably let it rock.
Pretty fair. Honestly, in my opinion, Oh Yeah it's good for what it's trying to do. It's a chill song in the way that makes you, like, it's groovy. It has a nice, like, motion with it. Like, it has this kind of, like, feel where it's, like, steady, but at the same time, it's moving along.
It's chugging along.
Yeah, but it's, like, chill. I like how the chorus, like, instead of, like, him, like, singing like a normal chorus. It like cuts to like a chorus singing "Oh yeah," and first time I heard it, I thought that was weird, and like I thought it was like vocals were weird, but the second listen through, I sort of liked it more. I could appreciate the different style.
And again, I've only listened to this one time, so take my opinion with a grain of salt, but like, first time through, I mean, in the moment it was a pretty okay song, but after that it just wouldn't stick into my mind, and I feel like that's a pretty deciding factor in if a song is good or not.
So what'd you rate it?
Overall rating, 4 out of 10.
I'd say I'd say for a Green Day song, 5 out of 10. As a song on its own, definitely an 8. Then there's my favorite on the album, Meet Me on the Roof.
This song is pretty good. I see why it's your favorite. Personally, I have one song that's above it, but it's definitely a well-paced song, and looking at the music video, I could really kind of understand the song a little better. It was a little iffy at first, but second listen through, it kind of grew on me.
A big thing that the Green Day fans are worried about is how produced it is. Honestly, for the classic diner style that the instruments are doing, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yes, it could have been a little more raw, but it isn't produced to the point where everything still has dynamics and everything. Everything, it sounds good, really.
It's not like modern pop just going into the overproduction, auto-tune, everything.
Yeah, it's definitely very produced, but they make it work.
Yeah.
It's definitely a 9 out of 10 as a song and 9 out of 10 as Green Day song, in my opinion.
I'm ranking it just slightly lower at 8 and 8.5. 8 being overall and 8.5 is Green Day song.
Because it's definitely a good Green Day song, because they are known to venture outside of their roots, but it also has that good feeling that you get from a Green Day song. And it isn't this because some of the lyrics are pretty down.
They are pretty down.
But contrasting with all the happy lyrics and all the happiness that's coming out of it, it feels good because it feels realistic to a point.
Definitely.
A good comparison would be Weezer's White Album.
I can see that.
Because overall it is a happy album, but it's not unrealistic other albums.
The other, yeah.
Yeah, we'll dive into that another day. Next song. I was a teenager.
A little bit of a warning. We don't like this song at all.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you start this one. I'm gonna say my opinions.
So, again, I've only listened to this song once, and I absolutely hated it. The song was just, it was edgy to the point of it being almost laughable, and it just, again, it almost doesn't stick with me just because of how laughably stupid it is, and the song was just really almost incoherent. It didn't flow together really well. There were certain points where I could say it's maybe okay, but the song as a whole was just way too edgy and incoherent for it to be anything I'd give any sort of accolade for.
Going off of all of that, the way the instruments are played, it feels so basic to the point where even if the lyrics were good, it's basic to the point, Green Day is basic. They've been basic ever. But it's basic to the point where it feels like they don't care.
Yeah.
And the lyrics aren't good. They are stupid. There's a lyric saying, "School's for suckers." It's stupid.
It's just generic and virtually incoherent.
And funny enough, it is the longest song on this album.
Which just kind of adds to something I was going to touch on a little later. Just the overall length of the album is a little bit surprising at 26
We'll touch on that after we're done with the songs, though.
I just wanted to say it's taken up a big portion of this okay album.
Jumping on to the side B, or second side, we have Stab You in the Heart.
It's
fun.
Yes.
It's very fun to listen to. It wows you up in like a fun, like grooving way again. Like they're really nailing like this like fun vibe they're going for. It's really nice.
It's a fun way to kick off the start of the second side.
Even on the CD or like where like there is no sides, it's nice. Just like starting.
You almost feel I bet you could feel the side chains since I've only listened to the vinyl, because everything before that had a slightly slower, darker like theme to it. But on the second side of this vinyl and on the second half of the CD, it's up, and I really enjoy this other side because of that.
I think this song is very fun, very fast. To me, it's what Fire Ready Aim wanted to be, because that song also had like it was trying to be fun, but at the same time it was trying to be serious with itself. It felt like Green Day.
Yeah.
But this one just was. Everything was cut loose. They just completely went crazy, and it paid off. I just wish it was a little longer, but the song does not feel too short.
And I wish the song could be longer. I think they made an okay choice in making this one slightly shorter, so it didn't seem to drag, and so that this energetic vibe didn't just last for too long.
Yeah. Speaking of energetic vibes, Sugar Youth.
Now this is where the energetic vibes get
Feel
slightly too much.
He sort of goes a little too far. He says so many intelligible things. If you listen to the song a few times, listen into the lyrics, or if you own any physical version, they have lyric book, which you can just see the lyrics. It doesn't.
It doesn't make
sense. It
sense.
isn't as bad as I Was a Teenager. It just
not.
doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But it isn't like stupid.
Yeah, it's not the edgy trash that
because that one didn't make sense.
I'm a teenager is going for, but it's still so incoherent. I can't really attach to the song.
But instrument-wise, it's again a basic song, but it's like here's the basic level of like I Was a Teenager with the instruments, and then here's like Sugar Youth, and then everything else is up there. Like it works basically. Jumping into the next song, Junkies on a High.
I'm gonna
You want me to start this?
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna go off a theory he was talking to me earlier about like the whole like album structure. It does come out of nowhere a little bit, but it isn't like a complete slowdown in my opinion. It takes a hit on like the what's it called?
The tone, the tempo.
No, no. Momentum, that's it.
Okay.
Sorry, I just had a little.
Okay. Brain fart.
Either way, Momentum. It broke it a little bit, but the song is good enough in my opinion, where it makes up for it. It's actually a pretty good song in my opinion. It's very chill in like the relaxed like way. It has some like darker tones with it, like how like the world's ending or whatever, like we're all screwed, but they're taking like a chill way out and being like, it's too late, we might as well just relax and watch it.
And
it's sad, but it's they're taking it like it's a theme with this album. You'll hear me say this again later for the last song, but it's like taking like darker tones, but making a good time out of what we got.
Yeah, I definitely am agreeing with all of what you said. I just the end of the album I feel just does this a little bit better, which is why I feel like this song is a little bit lower on my scale. I still do enjoy the song, and as we go into the next song, it transitions okay back into the faster tone of the second half of the album, but it was definitely a bit of a jarring dip into this slower, darker tone.
What was your ratings for Stab You in the Heart and Sugar Youth, by the way?
I don't remember.
That's okay. It's our first episode.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
We can screw up.
Hey guys, don't worry, the next one will be okay.
But my ratings for this one, as an overall song, and this more is just because of what I listen to, I'm gonna give it 5 out of 10, and then I'm gonna give it like probably gonna give it the same as a Green Day song.
As a overall song, I'd say it's a 6 out of 10 because it's a strong song. It's like it's structured very well. As a Green Day song, surprisingly, I'm gonna get it 8 out of 10.
Why do you say that?
His vocal style feels relaxed, but at the same time, it feels like Billy Joe.
I guess I can see that. I just don't.
Because he doesn't like venture off like in the other songs with his voice. He feels relaxed, and we haven't like
seen too much of that
in like what has it been like 20 years.
I guess I can see that.
Like on Dookie with like Longview, like he would go from like relaxed to like in this song where he's like watch the world burn, like he gets aggressive but he stays relaxed.
Yeah.
It's really nice. It's calming actually. Speaking of calm, we're about to throw that away.
Yeah.
Here, okay, going back, okay, for Take the Money and Crawl, with the whole album momentum, I love that they put an intro to the song. Even though it was already short, they made it work. They put an intro so, like, it keeps, like, that slow pace, but it slowly builds it up for, like, some big thing. You want to start with this song?
Sure. So, going off of what Tyler was saying with the intro, it does a decent job of bringing the songs back up to the pace that we were expecting with the second half. And the song overall, I do appreciate. It's another faster song, which I personally enjoy a lot more than the slower songs, but that's just personal opinion. And I feel like I'm mostly focused on the transition because with the last song it was so jarring. I just really appreciate the transitioning so that the composition of the entire album wasn't destroyed.
For me, the song itself, it's very nice. It starts out with like this riff, and all of a sudden they stop it and they go with this new riff, and all of a sudden he starts singing. It feels offbeat, but it isn't. It's really cool to first listen. You'll get used to it after you listen to it a few times. But I love how the guitars like play along with his vocals, and then once the chorus hits in, I just hit the jam. Like, it's amazing. I love all the instruments, how it's playing along with him, and Green Day really hit this one good.
Yeah.
The solo was very interesting with like the random notes, but this song is just a complete bop. It's a song where it's gonna wow you up and it's gonna make you want to move.
Now, ratings for this song, I personally think that as an overall song, I'm going to give it 8. Definitely a song I need to add to a couple of my playlists on Spotify. And as a Green Day song, I'm going to give it an 8.5, just because I feel like this song is possibly a good new step into something that they could play around with.
For me, as a Green Day song, I'm going to do that one first. Definitely a 9 out of 10 for me. Now, the reason why I say it's a Green Day song is because that isn't really my opinion. That's my opinion of like them as a band doing this. Overall, as a song I'd listen to, I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Because, you know, my personal preference is Meet Me on the Roof. That I feel like they did that one really well, but this one is like a close second favorite. Now, the big finisher, which isn't actually that big, it's just a nice finisher.
Which is something Green Day does fantastically. And
they've always done finishers really well. And
this is a good continuation of that. While on the spectrum of finishers, it's not the best. It is definitely not a song to sleep on.
No. Graffitia it starts out, from the name, when I first saw the tease of like the back cover of this, I originally thought this was going to be like a pop song, honestly. Like, I thought this was going to be weird to listen to. But when the song started the first time, I heard like the bass, and I'm like, ooh, this might be different. When I heard the clap sound effect, I'm like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the guitar and the what's it called? The organ kicks in, and it is so nice. It feels it just sounds good.
It's
with the guitar and
really-
organ together. They made it sound amazing.
It's an interesting.
It's like
sound.
how 12 Pilots did Ride.
Mm-hmm.
They incorporated organs as something that normally wouldn't sound
Yeah.
normal. Because
It's
this sounds like a rebellious track or like a reflection track on society, which it is.
it is.
It definitely is. The thing I love about it, inside the track alone, is its own transitions. It starts off with this like
Oh yes.
banner like verse, like sort of verse thing, and then it goes into the chorus, which is a nice. It's not heavy, but like the instruments are like heavy hitting, so like you hear it hit, and then all of a sudden it, it gets into this like somber like verse, and then it kicks it out, does another mini verse, and then it hits the chorus again, and then it gets somber, and then it gets really somber with like pianos, acoustics. Really amazing. Like you can hear the bass kicking really softly. It sounds really beautiful, but the lyrics are so sad. But then they don't want to. They did something different. They didn't just let it end. They actually like did the chorus a few times, and they let it play out, and it felt really enjoyable.
It was.
I perfectly fine if they just like left it at that.
Yeah.
But like it really did it justice. Like it really helped with the theme of the album being like this crazy like fun mess.
It definitely was. It definitely was a great way to finish it off, and I do like the bit of a twist at the very end of the song when they very well could have left it off, but they added a little bit extra that just kind of pushed that song over the edge to be one of the better songs in this album.
It's my third favorite, honestly. Like
I
it's tied with "Take the Money and Crawl." Like they just sound so well. Like
yeah.
"Take the Money and Crawl" is like that crazy song that like is my favorite on here. "Graffiti" is like that good like Green Day song. Honestly, as a Green Day song, 9.5 out of 10. Out of my favorites, I'd say a good 8 out of 10. It's very, very well put together and very nice to listen to.
I'm gonna agree with you on the 9.5 out of a Green Day as a Green Day song, but as a song I would listen to, I'm definitely gonna rate this slightly lower than you at a 7 out of 10. And that's just because while I do enjoy the song in it of itself, and I do enjoy the like transitions in between the songs, which I really appreciate, the interesting transitions and different themes being played with in a song, I can't get over the lyrics, which are a little bit too dark for me.
They're definitely not edgy though.
They're not to the point
They're
of being
realistic.
edgy, which is
They're
why
realistically
I wanted to rate it higher than like a 5 or 4 or something. They're realistic. It's just it's a little bit darker than what I usually listen to.
Now, what do you think of the album after your listen?
Short. Main point. The album is so short. I feel like there's more that could have been explored within the extra time that they could have put into it, which I mean, I can understand why it was short, and I feel like if they lengthened certain songs, that it would drag out for too long. But I feel like there were some missed opportunities within this 26-minute album.
Honestly, a few of the song ideas they have for some of the songs, I wish they would have like did another song like based off that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want any of the songs to be altered. They made, like, the shortness work. It works really well. I just wish they put a couple more songs on it. Plus, 10 songs in general just feels really short for Green Day.
Definitely.
Because they at least always have, like, 14 or something.
Yeah.
They've had, like, 12 before.
But this is just a little bit too short for me.
But at least it's enjoyable going through.
Absolutely.
This is actually enjoyable. It's okay though. It's not like it's definitely not one of their like greats. Like it's not like up there with like American Idiot, Nimrod.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not like
it's not
bad stuff.
Down there like certain
I don't know what's
albums.
considered bad Green Day.
I have a few songs that I don't like, but this album
I'm still working out my least favorite albums, but this is definitely nowhere near that. In fact, I put this on the higher side of the average spectrum. If it was longer, like the album was longer, and like they did more with like the songs and I Was a Teenager was off of it,
Yeah.
it probably would be one of my favorites, but
Yeah.
it definitely works with what they did.
So, as an overall album, not in any way related to Green Day, I would probably give the album as a whole, I'm going to say 7.5, just because the high points are pretty high, but the low points can get pretty low.
I'm honestly on the same boat with you.
But
So I'm going to go for a 7.
Got it.
Because the lower point, I Was a Teenager, it's an automatic skip, plus Sugar Youth.
That can get pretty iffy, so...
Yeah, it's like depending on the day.
But as a Green Day album, I'm definitely going to rate it a little higher. I'd give it anywhere from 8 to an... actually...
Just
I don't even know.
I'm going to give it a 6.5. Because
I'm so all over the place with this album because, as I just said, the high points are high, but the low points are so low that I can't honestly think of any
Here,
good scores.
While you think about that, I'm going to give my opinion because I've had this set for a little bit now. I'm going to give it a 6.5 because, yes, the high points are high, but the low points are low. Adding in that's already short and there's not that many other songs to go off of. Think about it, that's 8 songs that are actually like really good.
True. I think that...
And even some of those songs are even mediocre, so like it's like maybe 6 songs. Which is like cutting out like at least 10 minutes, so it's like it's already short enough.
Yeah.
So it's like it's not bad. Like I said, it's on the higher scale of the average, but they could have done better if they spent more time. I get that it's the end of their like record deal, but they could have done at least a little more effort.
Yeah. I think that kind of helps me decide just because the timing does, the amount of time that the album actually lasts does kind of sway my decision, since the 2 songs that aren't so great make up a surprising majority of the song. I think I'm going to give it 5.5, just because there's a lot of good stuff, but there's still enough gray and enough trash that I don't think the album is as great as it could have been.
And the whole unicorn thing started to grow on me. It fits with the album. Like when I first saw this album art, I'm like, what the hell? But like even when I first saw that pink disc, after I opened it, I knew it was gonna be pink. It said it was pink on the box. I'm like, I'm gonna get it. It's a special version of it. Oh my god, it's pink. But you know what? The album's crazy enough. It works. Okay, it works.
I definitely do enjoy some of the photography and some of the art that is done on this. While it does seem like a little bit off-putting with the colors and the pink, I think it still somewhat fits Green Day, especially if you look at some of the art and stuff in the booklets and the CD and like just the photo and the vinyl. I think they do justice for
and the booklet
Green
and the
Day.
the booklet. Honestly, you couldn't do a booklet for that without making it huge, but the booklet in here is actually...
Booklet is amazing.
It actually has separate lyric pages. It's not generic. Here, I'll show you guys. Like, they're all custom, and they have, like, photographs of them, but, like, they're all, like, completely made for each other, and here's the CD art, if you're wondering. It's very weird, but you know what? It all works in the end.
And I think that's a good way to end off this video.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed, and next up we're doing a Water Parks record.
Water.
Doing Fandom for 2019.
It's gonna be fun.
See you guys there.